A consumer boycott targeting Target Corporation over its decision to scale back several diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives has officially come to an end, concluding a months-long campaign that drew national attention but ultimately resulted in no major concessions from the retail giant. Please subscribe, like, and share for more updates. Thanks. The boycott began in early 2025 after the Minneapolis-based retailer reduced or altered several diversity programs that had been launched in the wake of the George Floyd protests. Following those protests in 2020, Target had announced ambitious commitments aimed at expanding economic opportunities for minority communities, including pledges to spend billions of dollars with Black-owned businesses and increase the number of diverse suppliers featured in its stores. However, amid growing political scrutiny and a broader national debate about corporate diversity initiatives, Target quietly scaled back parts of those programs. Critics argued that the changes represent a retreat from earlier promises the company had made during a time when many corporations publicly pledged to address racial inequality in business and hiring practices. The move sparked frustration among some civil rights leaders and community organizers, who called on consumers to stop shopping at Target locations across the United States. One of the most visible figures supporting the campaign was Jamal Bryant, senior pastor of the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Georgia. Bryant initially launched a 40-day Target fast during the Christian season of Lent, encouraging supporters to abstain from spending money at the retailer during that period. What began as a symbolic protest soon evolved into a broader consumer boycott. Activists urged shoppers, particularly Black consumers, to redirect their spending toward minority-owned businesses and retailers that maintain strong commitments to diversity initiatives. The campaign spread through social media, churches, and community groups, bringing attention to the role of consumer purchasing power in shaping corporate policies. While the boycott did not involve official participation from major national civil rights organizations, it gained traction among grassroots activists and some community leaders. Organizers argued that corporations should be held accountable when they roll back commitments to diversity and inclusion, particularly after benefiting from public support during the racial justice movement of 2020. Retail analysts said the boycott coincided with a difficult period for Target, which was already facing challenges from inflation, shifting consumer spending habits, and increased competition from other major retailers. During parts of 2025, store traffic declined and sales growth slowed. Although analysts cautioned that it is difficult to attribute those trends directly to the boycott, the controversy added to a growing list of reputational challenges for the company. Despite the pressure, executives at Target maintained that the company remained committed to supporting diverse communities and entrepreneurs. Company leaders emphasized that Target continues to work with thousands of minority-owned suppliers and has pledged billions of dollars in purchases from Black-owned businesses by the end of the decade. Executives also argued that the company had not abandoned diversity goals, but had instead adjusted certain programs as part of broader changes in corporate strategy. Target stated that its long-term focus remains on expanding supplier diversity, promoting inclusive hiring practices, and ensuring its stores reflect the communities they serve. After months of protest activity, organizers recently announced that the boycott would officially end. Leaders behind the campaign said the effort succeeded in drawing attention to the issue and sparking a national conversation about the importance of corporate accountability and economic empowerment. However, they also acknowledged that Target did not reverse its DEI policy changes or restore the programs that had been scaled back. As a result, the boycott ended without the concessions many activists had originally demanded. Some supporters of the protest described the campaign as a moral victory because it demonstrated how organized consumer action can influence public debate and highlight the economic influence of Black consumers in the United States. Others expressed disappointment, arguing that the boycott should have continued until the company fully reinstated its earlier commitments. The controversy surrounding Target is part of a larger national discussion about DEI initiatives in corporate America. In recent years, several companies have reduced or restructured diversity programs amid legal challenges, political pressure, and shifting public opinion. At the same time, many businesses continue to emphasize the importance of inclusive hiring and supplier diversity as part of their long-term strategies. For Target, the conclusion of the boycott may mark the end of one chapter in a complicated period for the retailer. Yet the broader debate over corporate diversity commitments is far from settled. Analysts say companies across multiple industries will likely continue to face pressure from both critics and supporters of DEI programs, ensuring that the issue remains a major topic in corporate governance and public discourse for years to come.